Washington and Indiana this week, Joe. I am really intrigued on Washington and Indiana this week. Number one, Curtis Rourke out, had thumb surgery. Taven Jackson would appear to be the guy that they're going to go with. Now, Taven Jackson did come into the game last week, went 7 of 8, 91 yards, and 2 touchdowns through the air. Joe, why do I still have a lot of confidence in Indiana this week versus Washington?
Because you should, because last game, Taven Jackson came in for most of the game after Curtis Rourke suffered his injury, and the team didn't stop. It didn't take a step back. Scheme wins, talent wins. They've got great running backs. They've got great receiving core. Their defense is fantastic. Blake, I'm going to be honest with you. This game's in Bloomington. Game day is going to be there. I think Indiana's going to smoke them. I really do. I think that there is a separation. I think that there's a separation gap between these two squads. And more importantly, as we said last week, Indiana's kicking the crap out of everybody that they're playing. They're covering the spread at a ridiculous rate right now. They're outscoring expectation every time they step into matchups like this. But more importantly, to dive a little bit into the nitty-gritty of it, Washington's got a really good pass defense. I think Indiana's going to try and run the ball more here with Justice Ellison and Tyson Lawton. I think that they're going to try and stay on the ground. And Washington's not doing a very good job of stopping the run so far this year. They're allowing 143 rush yards per game. I think they're going to have a pretty easy time. And this is going to be another matchup where we're going to be talking really high hopes and really high expectations for this Indiana team that's just stacking great wins.
I don't want to do that. Now, I do got one bone that's non-related to this game I got to pick with you. You ready?
Oh, my God. Stop hyping up Will Rogers. Stop it. Stop.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. I'm coming for penance. I'm coming for my I told you so. You ready?
On Will Rogers?
No. On
who?
Remember when we talked about Washington all year long last year and me saying that their secondary was boo-boo and they were boo-boo? Did you know that Washington was the number one team in the country in passing yards allowed?
Well, we got to remember though they played Michigan. They did play Michigan.
Okay, hold on.
They did play Michigan.
Okay, hold on.
We brought into this.
Okay, hold on. So it's Texas. Okay, but hold on.
Well, their stats were inflated as well.
DeLeone's secondary at Bama has also been boo-boo. So I'm just going to say, maybe it was Kalen DeBoer. Maybe it wasn't Washington. Belichick got that secondary working now, brother.
He does. He does.
Now, that is a big, in all seriousness, and back to the game.
Hold on. They played Michigan and they played Iowa. I forgot who they played last week. They played Iowa last week, and they played Rutgers, who doesn't have a passing attack.
I don't care.
And they play Northwestern, who doesn't have a passing attack. Their numbers are very inflated right now. They're inflated.
I came back and told you so. So they're the first team in the country in passing yards allowed. It doesn't matter. Told you so. I bring that up, though, on a serious note to get to my point here. Mm-hmm. I do think that there's an avenue where Indiana can throw the football all over Washington. You're right. They haven't been tested in that specific area. However, I would feel much better if I knew a little bit more about Taven Jackson. I know he looked really good coming in against Nebraska. I almost tweeted out about him when we were getting ready for a show prep this week. But I look at this and just say, like, if Rourke was there, I would have full confidence. Like, okay, man, this has been pretty good. Like, all right, you're going to be good. You're going to be fine. The statistics don't watch the film, right? You just see the statistics and what Washington's done. Just really interested, Joe. I think that they're going to win. I don't know about covering and all that. Because I think, look, man, when you have a backup quarterback that comes in, he plays well. How deflated was Nebraska after already getting their butt whipped? I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do here. There maybe not have been a game plan. I don't know. But here's what I do know. Indiana's been really good in stopping the run. They've been really good at defending the pass. Joe, defensively, everybody sees the big totals, and they're like, man, this offense is absolutely humming. No, they play really good defensively too. And if you go off in there and you can't run the football on them, you're in trouble, which, by the way, that has been Washington's issue this year. They can't run the ball. Joe, they're 71st in the country in run offense. So, I mean, don't come in here and try to defend. Oh, well, this guy.
Jonah Coleman's a good running back. They're just not – they're not moving the ball effectively. They're not moving the ball effectively at all.
No.
They're just generally not moving the ball.
This isn't the team that you find your running game. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
It's not. It won't.
No, you're 100% right. I'm just saying that their run game is a little bit better than you're giving it credit for.
I mean, Joe, they're 71st in the country. I mean, like at some point, you got
down the middle. There's 134 teams. It's a little bit past down the middle.
No, they're a little bit below average.
Yeah,
you can't have a little below average run game against a top 15 run defense.
Yes, that is important to bring up. And I brought him up last week. Michael Kamara is one of the most under-talked about players in the country. We've been hyping up Curtis Rourke. Again, he's not available for this game, and we've been talking a lot about Kurt Cignetti. But Kamara has quietly been one of the most productive defensive ends in the country, as this year he's got 6 sacks and 8 tackles for loss. Their defense feels like it runs through him. And then D'Angelo Pons has been a menace in the secondary, who's got 5 PBUs. They've got athletes all over this field. I'm really excited just from me as a draft perspective to dive into this tape, because they're elevating the play of all these guys that were seemingly buried either on their roster or other rosters. The defense is where I think the separation is and what we're talking about here. If Indiana's offense is a little bit slower than usual, their defense won't take a step back. And Washington is having a lot of problems offensively. They're very inconsistent. Will Rogers, he's been completing 72% of his passes, but they're not super potent through the air. They're pretty weak trying to throw the football. They're not putting up many points either.
He's the number one quarterback in the Big Ten that also gets hit the most too. Like they have not been protecting him at all. Joe, he's got PFF statistic. He's the number one quarterback in the Big Ten that's been hit. It's not like that they've been protecting him in great lengths too. So to your point on what you're talking about with Will Rogers, they've been doing a lot of intermediate pass game stuff, and I love that for him. That's what he had success with when he was with Mike Leach. But, Joe, he's taking a beating. Like, I mean, he's taking more hits than anybody. So I saw that today from PFF. I thought that I would throw that out there. Let me bring up one point to you that I think is a little alarming for me that I want to get your thoughts on. There is a path in this game for me that if Taven Jackson can't continue to have success, Joe, I mean, listen, Indiana has had moments when they're leaking third down defensively. And I'm not saying that Will Rogers can go in there and upset him. I'm not saying that. But he's highly experienced. And there's one thing that I know about experienced quarterbacks. Sometimes you cannot do things on them or show them things too early. He'll complete it on you. I don't want to outright, Joe, because I did see a team against – look, Michigan's still a very physical team up front. They want to be a physical football team. I'm not ready to completely write them off yet. I don't know if I like the backup quarterback. I'm just trying to give Washington an avenue here to win. I don't like coming in here and talking about one-centric team and thinking, oh, yeah, they're going to win. But I don't know, man. Something tells me that this game's closer than what the experts think. That's how my gut reads in this one. I'm telling you. Don't do it.
Go Hoosiers. If anything, and look, I give a weekly betting segment on VSiN that I do, and I'm 70%, 72% on my picks so far.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Indiana is one of my picks because I think that the betting market, naturally, a lot of people are going to think backup quarterback is in. We're going to put our money on Washington to cover. Dude, they didn't take a step back when he stepped in the football game. Go Hoosiers. They are going to smoke
you're misconceiving what I'm saying. I mean, Joe, we have seen Marcel Green, who was the most premier backup quarterback that came into the season that affected it. Joe, there was a game where he took a step back after coming in and dominating. Right? He comes in for Florida. He absolutely dominates, okay? And it's not like that he played a better team the week after. Joe, he played Bowling Green.
Yeah, I get that, but this isn't the situation that's going to happen. It's like this is the most hype and energy that they've got coming into this game.
Start. And us thinking that that's just going to be the norm. We gotta limit.
I'm not saying it's the norm, but he played really not that he played fine. He played really well in relief of Curtis Rourke.
I get it. I want to be okay. I shouldn't say this word because it's political season. I want to
don't be conservative. Don't be conservative.
I want to be conservative. because I've been bit in the ass by backup quarterbacks way too much in my life.
Okay.
Can't do it here.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.